I'm glad you brought up the labor force participation rate, because that's an important concept for folks to understand. And I'll go back to the Fred website here again. Um, this is a super interesting trend to me. This goes back to 1950. So this is basically the percentage of adults that participate, of working adults, I think between 18 and I want to say 70 or something, 69, 70, that are able to work, and how many of them are working. And so, you look back in the 60s, the number was down in the high 50s, and from 65 up through, I want to say just before the 2000 here, at the end of the beginning of 2000, it peaked at around 67%. And so a lot of this was actually women entering the workplace and participating in maybe dual income housing, dual income households that you talked about, Toby. And then since 2000, there've been a number of things. It's kind of just gradually ticked down again. Now, it's not, you can say, well, 63 to 67%, that's not a lot, but that's what 3% is around 10 million people. And let me just shore up on the coronavirus here, get into kind of 2010 to today. This dropped about 10 million people out of the workforce in just a very, very short period of time. And so, we're back up to where we're about 61.7% versus a 63%. So this is still a couple million people. I want to say 5-6 million people gap between where we were and where we are. And, I think, Toby, you mentioned a couple of the things that the nature of jobs have changed, as well as there are sort of job pockets of where people don't necessarily live. So I know I've looked at some articles where the north Midwest of the country has way more jobs than they have people, the largest, more jobs than unemployment people. That ratio is the highest in the upper Midwest area. And, so, yeah.
And the other thing with that, Brian, right? And you look at, you mentioned the Midwest, right? That has a lot of jobs. If you look at demographics, I think some of what you'll see is that those areas of the country that have maybe more jobs than others also tend to be more demographically favorable to maybe the 2-income household that's shifting, right? So you've got a bunch of these factors that might be piling onto each other. And it's not clear to me that, because that chart you showed, right? We were kind of at a 63%, almost maybe a short-term steady state that we were going at, then we had the pandemic. It's not clear to me we get back to 63% immediately. Maybe we're stuck at 61% for a couple of years as things shake out. I don't know. Are we even measuring right now, given the increase in work from home and part-time and gig work? Do these...
Yeah, are they accurate?
Right? Yeah, that's another thing you got to consider.
There's a ton of new ways that you can be employed and not necessarily, get income tax withdrawn from your paycheck.